All right, welcome back everybody to another 13 cards subject to change. My tongue works today. I can't talk. All right, we are a little.
We're off a week and you already
We're off.
fumble.
Yeah, I know. It's
Jesus,
trying to get in the groove of things and I mess up.
that was a bigger botch than the LA Clippers.
Ooh, hey, I think they did worse than me.
That's fair.
Yeah, I know. We're a week behind because unfortunately, work sometimes happens.
Well,
and I had to work a little extra. So.
I would just say life in general happens. Kind of where everything goes. But
Well, yeah, that is true.
Yeah, we have a pretty loaded show today, everybody. Of course, Zach here, Leroy, bobbling our intro, but got it in there a little bit. Able to say he was at least able to do it.
Yeah, we got enough loaded show that we can do a lot of it today, and then heck, we got more for another show.
Oh yeah, no, that's always a good time.
Definitely for that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start off the show today in a very good place for me. We're actually going to have a couple of topics that are just going to sort of be a quick sort of run across here. We're going to start off with Leroy. We are now, I believe, 6 or 7 nights into the G1 Climax tournament.
I believe so, yes.
And ladies and gentlemen, this has been a very good tournament for me. I've been enjoying where everything's going. Don't necessarily want to get into a lot of the specific matches right now. I guess one of my biggest things is you look at the points right now. You got Block A and Block B both have runaway people right now. They've got six. There's a lot of 6-point guys in all the places. Yano, of course, continues to do well in this tournament. Of course, we all know Yano is the comedy act that is put in the biggest tournament every year, and he's just
Why
there.
not?
I love seeing Toru Yano in every tournament because he just, he always gets in these tournaments and he always seems to have victories that mess the whole bracket up, and it's so much fun to watch.
Well, it makes it a little bit more entertaining, you could say, something like that. I don't know.
He's so cool with being the sort of comedy act, too. He doesn't really care that much. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Well, he does it in the correct way, because there's other people that think they're a comedy act and think it's cool, and that are not even close to being cool.
Well. Anyway, so we get back to the tournament here. Right now, I think your runaway is I think is he in Block A or Block B? But I think it's Jay White right now has 6 points.
I think he's in.
Is he in Block B? I got it in front of me, but I'm not sure.
I believe it's Block. He's in Block A.
Block A.
Yes.
Okay. I will say this. Look, I know they don't normally give it to
Gaijins.
Yeah, Westerners. But I was talking to Bug the other day, who's been watching the whole thing. He's been enjoying it. I feel like right now this is Jay White's tournament to lose, at least in terms of wrestling momentum. He's just been so good since he got back from, obviously, travel restrictions. And he's the hottest heel they have in New Japan right now. And Jay is just... I mean, right now Switchblade's great. I love it. I love where Jay's character's going. I love his in-ring work. Obviously, he has a heck of a block to get out of, because I mean, you look at his block, ladies and gentlemen. You've got Taichi and Will Ospreay and Kota Ibushi all have 6 points with him. I think Suzuki also has 4 points. No, sorry, the Suzuki had 4 or 6 points. It looks
Suzuki's.
looks like he's got 6 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But I mean, when you look at the rest of the bracket, you've got Takahashi. You've got Ishii, who's never an easy out. Ishii's always going to hurt you. Jeff Cobb, and of course you have, one of the goats of New Japan in Kazuchika Okada. I mean, if Okada's in your bracket, you got to worry about getting out of that bracket, because he's always going to put on a tremendous performance.
Yeah, and I double checked on Jay White. Yeah, he's in Block A.
Block A, perfect.
Block A,
okay,
yeah.
So anyway, but I mean, that's my whole thing. Is I mean, Block A just has a lot of stud block players right now. I mean, it's a really good block.
Yeah, the next, holy crap, October 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Oh, yeah.
Is the next block, and then they have 2 days, and then the 10th, 11th, and then another day up, and then boom, boom. I mean,
we talked about
they're just going and going and going.
Yeah, we talked about every block being, or just, I mean, we talked about, I think it was Block A, I think we talked about it being stacked because we saw Ospreay, White, Ibushi, Suzuki's in there, Okada, Cobb, Ishii. But again, Block B, oh my God, you've got Naito in there. You've got Yano, who again can do anything he wants in this tournament, because we all know they're probably not going to give it to Yano. I actually made that joke with Bug about just being like, "Is this finally Yano's year?" And it's
no,
but I mean, when you realize you've got Kenta, you've got Zack Sabre Jr., you've got Juice Robinson, Evil's in there, Tanahashi, Goto. Goto's always been a great performer, and Sonata, who continues to be sort of an upturn in New Japan. I know Sonata's Sonata, everyone kind of remembers him from the old TNA days. He was there for a while, and then he went back to Japan, and then he's had a very, I would say, in the spotlight, out of the spotlight scenario over there in Japan. But Sonata's always a player, and Goto's a great performer who just always never really is there in the end of the tournament, but he's a really great performer. So yeah, I mean, both these blocks are ridiculously stacked. I mean, if you really want to do the math, I mean, this might be one of the most stocked brackets I've ever seen for a G1.
It probably is.
It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
You know, it's like funny. I'm trying to print out everything, and one thing I wanted to find, I don't know, it didn't get printed out.
We're fine. We're good.
Well, it's a little, and it's another one of our short little bit, like day in history.
Oh yeah.
I mean, nothing spectacular, but a couple good bonuses for today.
But no. So I mean, you look at these brackets, you look at the points. Who's your early coming out of these things? I mean, like right now, Block B has a lot of people at the top. 3 or 4 people at the top. I mean, if you want me to choose between Yano and Juice and Naito, who are the leaders in that block right now, it's going to be Naito all day. But I mean, Kenta can still make a move. Evil was just the double champion before Naito got it back.
And he's right there. I mean, he's only 2 points down on 4, so I mean, it's easy to go.
And then you also have Tanahashi, who he's the man that built the Tokyo Dome. I mean, Tanahashi is Mr. Tokyo Dome. I mean, if Shawn Michaels is Mr. WrestleMania, then Tanahashi is Mr. January the 4th, because it used to be called January the 4th before it was obviously Wrestle Kingdom. So we'll definitely have to wait and see.
You hear the ice cream truck? Yes, the ice cream truck is around.
We still have an ice cream truck in Superior.
Yes.
I always forget about that. But
if it's on our side of our street, yeah, you guys can. I got money upstairs by my bed. Okay? Keeps them happy, gives them ice cream, and if they're really good, they bring some for us, but I doubt it.
Yeah. Proper parents in there, folks.
Well, I guess it'd be a little bit older, and Evan would definitely do that. So.
Right, yeah. But no. I mean, I look at this right now. I mean, Block B could be anybody, because you just look at the guys who are at the bottom. There's still a lot of matches to go here, folks. There's still.
Yeah, we got a couple weeks to go, but...
And we all know that Yano can still either give people points or take points away from people, to the point where all of a sudden the top of the bracket looks just completely opposite of what it looks like right now. And then, of course, it's like Block A, God, I don't know what to do here, because you've got Ibushi, who won it last year, I think. If I remember correctly, I believe Ibushi won it last year because they gave him... I believe they gave it to him because he signed that lifetime deal with New Japan, if I remember correctly. But I mean, you've got Ibushi, you've got Suzuki, again, you've got Okada. Who the hell knows what Okada can do and everything? And then, of course, again, I want it to be Jay White, but again, this is New Japan. They don't. I mean, the only gaijin they've ever trusted was Kenny Omega, and Kenny kind of walked out the door there shortly after he won. So, I mean, that probably doesn't do a lot of good for them. Hey, another member of the Elite walking out on a company, Wow. It's
what a shock.
Yeah. Who knew? But anyway, so we'll have more as the brackets continue to unravel.
Were you wondering who won last year?
I believe it was I'm pretty sure it was Ibushi. Last I checked.
Yeah, it was Kota Ibushi.
Yeah,
that was last year. Yes,
that's what I figured. It's interesting. So we're gonna move here straight. It's interesting to bring up the name, but so we've got. I just mentioned the only gaijin to ever win it was Kenny Omega, and Kenny Omega has recently been on AEW. They finally broke up the tag team of Omega and Page to very lackluster results, mind you. Singing
Culture Club, It's a Miracle right now.
I don't know.
They don't want to hear me sing.
Well, but no, it's just okay. Let's analyze for a second here. You've got Kenny Omega, who is supposedly, according to the fans of Spot Monkey Wrestling and according to a lot of the internet people, he is the best wrestler in the world. And, you know, for a time period there, I think when he was in New Japan, when he was at his peak, when he was really in those, you know, classic type matches with Okada, I think you can make an argument that Kenny was one of the best in the world, but you also have to look at the people he was working with. He was working with the best New Japan had.
And that helps no matter what company you work with.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
If you're working with the best, it should make you better.
Yeah,
definitely.
Well, and that's my point. Is just, I mean, going back to what's recently happened on AEW television Dynamite. So they've broken up the team, and Kenny Omega has been on commentary a couple of times since it happened.
Is that any good?
No, it's
okay.
awful. It first of all, commentary on Spot Monkey Wrestling is the most outlandishly horrible thing I've ever heard, and I never thought I'd say that with any announced team that had JR on it, but it's pretty obvious that JR doesn't give a rat's hairy behind about what the hell goes on this show.
He's cashing his paycheck.
Oh my God! I mean, but it's just JR has no inflection anymore. He has no care of what he's watching. He's just sitting there having a conversation with Shivani. They're probably both wishing they were back on Nitro back in the days, and then you've got, you know, Excalibur. My God, that mask must be just absolutely sweat-filled in the humidity they've got down there in Florida. But I'm sitting here looking at myself like, JR just doesn't give a damn. He doesn't care.
That's too bad.
And the wardrobe malfunction comment, like, folks, are we really going to rip him for... Kind of wish he had a wardrobe malfunction. Is that wrong of me to say? It's like, he even implied that it was a joke. And the internet just ripped him a new one because, again, and you know what? This past week, something happened, and I'll get to it. Something happened that made Jim Cornette correct again. And to all the Spot Monkey fans out there, when I say this, you're gonna have no defense for it. Okay. So anyway, but yeah, no, it's just I am getting nothing out of Jim Ross, which is weird because then I get Kenny Omega. He's quiet. He's acting like he doesn't want to be there. His voice is just, it's not even high and nasally. It's like low. I can't even describe it because it's so bad. And what I'm getting at is what happened to the supposed best wrestler in the world. He can't cut a promo that I care about. His wrestling is completely exposed because he's working with absolute nobody job talent in AEW. I mean, his match with Pac was great, and I'll say it, I enjoyed it. But it's Pac. He makes everybody look great because Pac's one of the most underrated names in the business. But his wrestling in ring is phenomenal. WWE messed up because they wouldn't let him fight in the heavyweight division. They, you know, which is sad because he owned the cruiserweight division for a damn year and a half almost as the king of the cruiserweights. It was one of the best gimmicks in all of wrestling.
Oh yeah,
it
definitely
made me
was.
want to watch 205.
Yeah, I loved watching him on TV all the time when I was there. So.
And then he jobbed out to Enzo, and the rest obviously is history.
Yeah, maybe Kenny's realizing that he does suck.
Well, it's just one of these things, but it's just Kenny Omega is in America. He's working with underneath guys who don't belong in the category of Kenny Omega. He was put in a tag team scenario, which Kenny Omega's never been good at. That's never been Kenny Omega's style. He was a singles competitor over in Japan. Yeah, he had the occasional six-man with the Elite and everything, and yada yada.
You do that.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just one of these things where, like, here is a guy who I will admit, that time with Okada, I thought maybe he was one of the best in the world. And I think that, he was. He had great presentation, everything. But it worked in Japan because Japan doesn't have a lot of charisma over there. Very few guys do that. I mean, Yano's obviously your comedy act, but now you come over to America where you have guys where everyone's a comedy act, everyone's doing the same shit every night, and it's just a headache because it's such a schizophrenic show that Kenny Omega gets lost. And then the one thing I can't understand is Kenny Omega goes from losing the tag team titles in a 35-minute instant classic, if you're Dave Meltzer, but Dave Dave Meltzer never gave a 5-star match to Sting versus Flair, but he's gonna give it to 4 underneath job guys having a parking lot brawl. Please.
He's on drugs or getting money under the table or something.
Weed is legal in California. I just wanna
And
point that
maybe
out.
he
Just
is
wanna
doing
point
that,
out.
yeah.
California's legalizing everything these days.
He's like, oh yeah, that was real good. That's a 5-star. What? What are you smoking? Wait a minute. No, we already know.
But he never gave a 5-star grade to Flair and Sting.
Yeah, it's like two of the greatest of all time.
Flair and Sting, just the names is a 2-star match.
Yeah.
The 3 stars they can get from their performance in their primes alone.
That you can give them a 3rd star just from their intros.
Damn straight, dude.
It makes no sense, but hey.
Anyway,
whatever.
But it's just Kenny Omega. You watch him, and yes, maybe I'll repeat some stuff from Jim Cornette, but like I said, we like wrestling from the era that Jim was trained in, and that Jim did. And Kenny, he's sloppy. His punches don't look realistic. I mean, the thing is, everyone, it's interesting. Pretty much AEW's ratings continue to bottom out at about 800,000. And yeah, they're still above NXT, but they're not growing. The audience hasn't grown. And it's almost been proven that over 200,000 people are really just watching AEW, and they're waiting for Jim Cornette to review it to go back and laugh at it. So,
probably, yeah.
So if you're telling me that 1/4 of your audience is there just to shit on you, and you're happy with that, fuck you guys. You're idiots.
They are a bunch of idiots. Oh my god.
You're just, but no, it's just Kenny Omega. I liked Kenny, but the problem is that I loved Kenny, and again, there's a picture of me in the Bucks, and the last thing I said to them was, say hi to Kenny for me. But Kenny was good in Japan because Japan made him look good. He had professionals over there. He had guys that laid out. I mean, New Japan is probably on the same level as WWE in my opinion. Not necessarily having as much American great producing talent, but they've got great wrestling producing talent because some of the greatest in the history of New Japan Wrestling are still there making sure these get laid out. The dojo is there. The young lions are learning from these guys. But it's just Kenny is over here and he's trying to do the same shtick. And it just doesn't make sense anymore. Going back to them losing the tag titles. So they lose the tag titles. Kenny's all pissy. He has a fight with Adam Page in the ring, and then we follow him all the way through the arena to the parking lot,
to his car,
and
Lord have mercy.
And he gives the Bucks this ultimatum, and then it turns around, and it's like now Kenny comes out, and he's not dressed like a heel. He's not dressed like he's. Ric Flair would come out in those $1,000 suits, and Chris Jericho's a prime example. When Chris Jericho became the character that was basically the guy from No Country for Old Men, he was the character that was just like, I am the best in the world at what I do. When he became that heel, he wrestled in a Speedo instead of his long trunks. He also showed up in suits. He wasn't in a t-shirt. He wasn't in a hockey jersey anymore.
Well, yeah.
And Kenny still shows up in his board shorts, his flip-flops, and a t-shirt, and just acts like he doesn't want to be here. I mean, this is the guy that... Okay, here's the deal. This is the big argument in the NBA right now, the GOAT conversation. Michael Jordan versus LeBron. Well, each one, if you want to argue, is the greatest of their generation, whether you want to argue this, that... Okay, so here's the deal. If we're talking guys who are considered the GOATs of generations... This is the guy you want me to put on the level of Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan?
No, I wouldn't even come close. In his time in New Japan, go there at that moment.
Oh yeah.
But
Here
in the U.S., no.
But his style doesn't work because
there's more people that are better.
Well, but the thing about it is that American style wrestling, it has to seem realistic to a point. New Japan, the fans are going to be very Asian culture-like, as we discussed on the show. They're going to be respectful. They're not going to get a lot of crazy jump up and cheering. And the thing is that Kenny's just quiet. He has a weird voice that doesn't even sound like he could beat up a cat if it was already dead. I mean, that's probably the worst metaphor in the world, but it's just... I don't believe that Kenny Omega is angry. I don't believe that he's mad. I don't believe that he's happy. I am literally sitting here getting nothing out of Kenny Omega, and this is supposed to be one of the top guys in the company. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Shut up.
You watched Ric Flair come up. You watched Hulk
Oh, yeah.
Hogan come up. When they spoke, you listened. When they wrestled, it was believable.
Yeah, when they spoke, their promos, oh my God. I mean, their music coming out, I mean, it just, everything with them, they performed every step of the way. Ric Flair didn't have a lot of moves, but he performed in the ring. He had his signature stuff that he did all the time. I mean,
And you go back to the
Yeah.
moves. I was saying earlier about the whole agreement with Jim Cornette. Kenny looks like a self-trained wrestler.
yeah,
He's hitting the ropes in ways that I would not expect from GOAT level guys. His moves are incredibly showy but not effective, I guess is the best way to say it. And he's prancing around, he's finger pointing, he's got happy feet because he's like doing a little dance before he hits the ropes. It's just, I'm not saying a wrestler has to be stiff, but Kenny could pull it back a bit.
oh, definitely. I mean, maybe.
You've watched
maybe,
Kenny Omega matches a little bit. It
Yeah.
worked in Japan because
Oh, it did.
Japan,
He was great over there.
Yeah, no, it was great over there. But it's just, well, and again, this is the issue that I would love to sit down and talk to the Bucks about. Everything's the same. Nothing changes. It's not even a joke in the wrestling community anymore that every Young Bucks tag team match that you see, it's just the Young Bucks. It's the same match. Even when they're trying to be heel or face, it's the same match. Even when they're frustrated, I get the same match.
I don't,
And it's got to go over 20 minutes.
maybe Kenny has to work a story with Jericho or with Matt
We already
Hardy.
did that in Japan. I feel like that's sort of rehashing old.
Yeah,
old
or
stuff.
it's like have him work with Matt Hardy. I mean, have him work with somebody here that actually can work in the ring. Maybe that'll help him a little bit. Maybe not. But
Kenny Omega.
I don't know.
Kenny Omega, as Jim Cornette has said, is the world's greatest wrestling artist. And I'm sorry, but I don't look at Omega. I can appreciate what Ric Flair did for his art because it was the art of wrestling. But Kenny Omega is just, I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's not wrestling. And, Kenny, to his credit, has said, if Jim's playing a character by bashing what I do, that's fine. But what I do is what I do. But it's like, dude, look, you have not elevated this brand. You haven't. You have been a backstory. But what's really weird is every time you come out, somebody refers to you as the greatest in the world. And
Yeah, it makes no sense.
okay, some people might take this as a hot take. I can compare LeBron James to Michael Jordan. I can compare Brady and Montana.
Yes.
I can't compare Omega to Steamboat. And that's no offense to Steamboat, but no one's saying Steamboat is in the conversation for GOAT. Ricky was amazing, but I'm not saying Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's on the Mount Rushmore or in the GOAT conversation.
No.
But I mean, I can't even put you in a Rock, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair discussion. You're not in their league, bro. You're not.
No, not even close.
Now, can I put John Cena in there? Yes, because John Cena, for a length of time, was probably the best in the ring. Triple H, John Cena, you can put them in a category that could maybe eventually become a GOAT conversation with the Rocks and the Stone Colds and the Flairs and the Hogans, Undertaker, obviously. But
Well, you can throw Seth in there too. I mean,
athletically, yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, Seth's career still has a long way to go before.
yeah, but I mean, he can be in that category in that breath maybe after a while, but because he's actually showed and he's evolved
and
and
Randy
he's
Orton.
gotten better.
And Randy Orton.
Oh, Randy Orton. Yes, and Randy Orton, of
I
course,
should easily
yes.
put in Randy Orton because Randy
Yeah.
Orton is a 14-time world champion.
Third generation wrestler, yeah.
And Randy is the smoothest stiff wrestler I've ever seen.
Yes.
I don't expect Randy to like pull off a Rey Mysterio style match. I expect Randy to be slow, methodical, and stiff, but it's just effortless.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, my God. But no, but I mean, it's just getting back to Kenny. I don't see smoothness out of Kenny. Kenny gets a lot out of what Kenny's learned how to do, but Jim Cornette says it 1,000 times, and whether you like Jim or not, Jim has been around real wrestling schools. He's been around some of the biggest promotions that have ever existed. Kenny Omega does things in the ring that no wrestling school worth its merit would teach you how to do.
Yeah, definitely.
There's the old story of, I don't know if you ever heard this, it's actually on Jim Cornette's page, you should go look it up. Kenny Omega was at like a camp or workshop for Harley Race. And they had them do a basic wrestling sequence. You know, it's the whole, elbow tie up, bounce off the rope, do a leapfrog kind of thing, this, that. I think that's what the sequence, either way. And Kenny got put in the beginner class, not the advanced class. And Kenny argued it. And I'm like, dude, if Harley Race don't see something in you, I don't know who's going to see anything in you.
Just sit down, shut up.
Because that's Harley Race.
Yeah.
If Harley Race looks at you and says you need to go to the beginner's class, I don't care what you think of yourself. Harley Race proved himself long enough to where his opinion matters to people.
Oh, yeah.
May he rest in peace, obviously. But,
yes.
It's one of those scenarios where it's just the more and more that I learn about Kenny Omega, you screwed over New Japan because you walked out because they wouldn't let you work with your girlfriend. Whatever.
Yeah.
You were good. You were really good, but I haven't seen you have a good match outside of Okada. I called Pac versus Kenny a great match. It was a great match based on what it's being compared to in Spot Monkey. In Spot Monkey, it's Flair Steamboat.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Against Flair Steamboat, it's not Flair Steamboat. No. It's not any of those three.
Not even close.
But it's just one of those things where it's just I want to like Kenny Omega because he seems like a cool dude. And it's like, yes, I'm a gamer, which is exactly what Jim Cornette makes fun of. They're all gaming buddies and blah blah blah. And they just want to play their video games. But I feel like Kenny's a nice guy, but it's like, dude, I've been watching wrestling for a long time. I've seen a lot of great things. You don't look trained, even though you were in WWE training for a little bit there. You supposedly had real training. It just, everything he does, and honestly, Kenny just keeps having the same match as well.
Yeah.
You can only go 60 minutes plus with Okada so many times before okay, you know what? Here's my issue. And hear me out. You said Flair didn't have a lot of moves.
Well, he even said that.
Yeah,
himself.
okay, but did you ever see a Flair match that was a carbon copy of a match he had just done?
No, never.
And that's where a lot of these guys on AEW fail. Every single match, even though it's 20 minutes half the time, half these guys are getting twice the amount of time they would ever get on the indie shows because that's what they've been given. But everything has to be a highlight of your biggest moves. Can't you just wrestle and then work the moves in?
Yeah.
Not just get to your spots?
Yeah. Well, Piper even had that saying, and he didn't like while Vince was doing this. Is when Piper was alive, God rest his soul too.
Yeah.
But he said, and he was on Howard Stern, he goes, everything, you know what's going to happen. He goes, yes, the outcome, yes. But from when they get in the ring, they have to do a story and everything to that point.
And here's my problem.
They just work it right in the ring.
But, and you've watched enough Spot Monkey now. I apologize that you've had to. But
yeah.
If I got to suffer through this,
yes,
so do you.
I know. I'm suffering too.
But no. Okay, you've watched matches. Doesn't every match kind of look the same?
Yeah, they're very similar. They keep the same style.
They also look like they're laying
everywhere.
out every moment of the match. Because sadly, all they're doing are spots. All their matches are a spot. They go 150 miles an hour until the match is over, and I'm like, what did I didn't register anything. I didn't see anything. I didn't get a story being told.
No.
The story that was told, but and we'll talk about this a little bit later, Clash of Champions, Randy and McIntyre, they tell the story. When McIntyre kicked the door off, he sat there and he sold the fact that I just kicked a car door off.
Oh God, yeah.
And not even a car, an ambulance door. But no, it's just okay. I'm actually going to be really complimentary of Clash of Champions, but I'll hold that till later.
Okay,
but,
all right.
It's just I watch AEW, and I think I finally realize you get the same ratings every week, and NXT fluctuates down, up, down, up. I think they were over 700,000 for the last show.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, which by the way was a good show.
Oh yeah.
It was a really good build up to Takeover, which I believe is tonight. So
Yes, that is tonight. Yeah,
tonight. Okay.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, but anyway, I watch an episode of Dynamite, and I get a Cody style match where everything's a little bit slow. It's thought out. It's it's methodical. It's a Cody presentation. Which, by the way, next time we get Jesse on the show, he's gonna have to eat a little humble pie because Cody came back real quick.
Yeah, he did, and he looks different.
Yeah.
We couldn't get to the ice cream.
Couldn't catch it. Hey, that's all right.
You got any ice cream here? You can go ahead and grab some ice
No,
cream.
we're no, we don't. I have to
Okay.
run.
Yeah.
We could maybe. I'll pimp my store out. We could run to Quick Trip later and get some ice cream, maybe. Get some ice. No,
No.
maybe. Claire wants to get ice cream.
Yeah.
Claire, we'll get some ice cream later, okay?
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
I want to pay for it.
You want? Oh,
Okay. All right.
With-
Hey.
he wants to pay for it with my money.
Nice.
He's getting smart.
Yeah. Right.
My own.
Oh, that's your
Okay,
own money.
okay, okay.
Oh yeah, I did. He did do some work around here, and I
Fantastic.
did pay him.
Awesome.
So that's the joys of filming a
I actually-
podcast at home.
Yeah, right. I also
My
do like that
kids.
segue though. Getting paid to do it at home. That's basically what Tony Khan's paying these idiots for now is to do home
Yeah.
versions of what a professional show should be.
We're doing house shows every week. What?
Yeah, but it looks
Okay.
like but it looks like a house show.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
that's the
Like,
bad
there's no spectacularness to it. But anyway, here's my thing. You are not changing your viewership because you're doing the same shtick every week. I get a Cody match. Then I get a match that I don't know why it's put together. There's no story behind it. You just threw a bunch of dudes in a ring and say go for it. And then I watch another match that goes 100 miles an hour. And then I get a really, really bad promo from whether it's Brody Lee or it's, whoever. I get a really bad promo. And then I get some main event that's been going on for 8 weeks now. And I'm like, I still don't care, but okay, it's here. But it's like, that's the format they have.
They got to work on it. I mean, I don't.
You want to revive tag team wrestling, I get that, but here's the deal. You don't have to have tag team wrestling on every single week. Especially when it's bad tag team wrestling. FTR are the only good tag team and now FTR's got some convoluted thing that sounds like Vince Russo wrote it for TNA and only Jim Cornette can figure it out.
Maybe he can figure it out.
FTR matches will now be 20 minutes. And if you can't beat them in 20 minutes, FTR are declared the winners.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And I'm just sitting here like, so you have a 35-minute quote-unquote classic, which just dragged on forever.
And now only 20 minutes.
And now
You
it's
gotta
only
try and
going to be
beat us.
20 minutes because you think you're just going to change things. And of course, now you've got Tully, who is a great talker. We all know who Tully is. But he can't get this crap out there writing for him. And I'm looking at myself like, you're writing for Tully?
You know the only fun thing I'm getting out of the tag team in AEW? Listen to Jim Cornette.
Just shit.
Try shit on them.
Just shit
But
on
also try to the Bad Boy and
them.
Sonny.
Oh, God.
And when they tried to use somebody joked about using that new Midnight Express, and he's given him, I don't know all the names, but I
Oh,
laughed.
they're all coming
'cause
up with names.
He's coming up with
Jim
names.
Cornette and Brian Last came up with like
They
a
have
dozen
some
names.
wonderful names for
Oh,
this
my
team.
God.
I don't, they won't ever use them, but
No.
I laughed hysterically.
No, they
that's
won't.
that's the only way I can enjoy the tag team division AEW is from Jim.
Look, I look and I look and I look. And by the way, us jumping into AEW criticism, it's the same thing as my criticism on Kenny. I'm not seeing variety. I'm not seeing, building. Nobody in AEW, and I'm sorry, you can argue Orange Cassidy till you're blue in the face, because by the way, Orange Cassidy, he did exactly what I said was going to happen and what I didn't want to see coming out of the Jericho feud. the first match I saw him after the Jericho feud, he's doing a little play kick bullshit again.
Oh, Christ.
You just came out of a blood feud with Jericho, and now you're doing this again? Your character should grow from there. I should see the evolution of Orange Cassidy. He's going back to the same crap.
Ugh.
And I get it. The indie fans love him. Dude, you're on national television.
I'd like him more if he started doing more stuff and better. to
If he did
become
anything, he's still playing the bum.
Yeah, he needs. Yeah, he
It's
needs to
just-
evolve. Yeah.
I mean, look. All right, back to Kenny, because I'll get to the Spot Monkey when Jesse's back, and I'm gonna rip Jesse's asshole a new one. But no, it's just Kenny Omega became the Bucks to me in a way that Kenny's matches all look the same. It's a bunch of crazy theatrical dives that aren't even good lucha. I love lucha style wrestling, but
I do
lucha's
too. Oh, yeah.
unpredictable. Lucha's got some amazing stuff to it, but they tell stories and they've got characters, and Kenny's just bland. He has no personality. He honestly, we talked about at the top of the show how Jim Cornette doesn't give a shit. Kenny Omega gives less of a shit than Jim Cornette on commentary, and I'm just like, then why are you out there?
Yep.
You're not selling me anything. You're not building anything. You're just there. Is Kenny Omega just like contractually obligated to be on the show? Is that how this works?
Maybe that is in his contract.
He's an executive vice president. He doesn't need to do anything that he doesn't want to do.
That's true.
But
yeah.
it's just, I don't know.
It's a waste.
He's also the booker of the absolute most god awful division in all of wrestling, which is the
Yeah.
women's division of AEW. And just because they have a good match here and there, folks, doesn't mean that they're all of a sudden a good division.
Yeah.
Top to bottom, it's an absolute joke.
Supposedly they are working on a video game for AEW.
Oh, great.
So you know what that means? Actually, we can buy that game
And book better than they are.
and book better and
Yeah.
do better matches at our house, and then probably send them a video. Hey, you should do this,
You,
and maybe they would, but
You-
I doubt it. But
okay, so we talked on a past show, and Eric was here for it. Remember when I said that they lost their executive at TNT, and Eric said, "Did you hear the conference call?" Do you remember
yeah,
that?
yeah,
Where Tony Khan said he wasn't worried.
yeah,
I'd be worried.
I would be.
The
too.
only guy. It doesn't matter if he wasn't the only guy that liked you. He's still the guy that not only gave you the TV show, he gave you the extension. Now he's gone, and you don't know who's in charge? Come on. You can't be that. You can't look at me and tell me that and have me believe that you're not a little bit worried that your guy is not there.
Mhm. And they say, rumors that give him a second show.
Well, that was already in the contract for the original.
Oh, was
extension,
in there?
So yeah,
Oh,
that was
okay.
already there. But it's like, guys, you can't get Dark right. You can't get Dynamite right. You're gonna give me a third show that I'm just gonna have to shit on more. Like, thanks for the content, but now I gotta watch more of this crap. Also, what night do you go to?
God, yeah.
You can't. Mondays and Fridays you can't do.
No.
Wednesday you can't do. So it's Tuesday or Thursday.
Yeah. You'd have to.
But
do
now you're
Tuesday or
competing with
Thursday.
Impact.
And Impact will beat him on Tuesday.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather watch Impact.
Yeah.
Well, Jordan Grace could come out for 20 minutes.
Well, there you go.
And that's it for me. I'm sorry. Yeah. Hey, some people wouldn't like. She don't have to wrestle. She can wrestle.
We're not
too,
allowed
but-
to play the song that Leroy wants because it's patented by whoever owns Queen's record label. But anyway, if you don't know what I'm referring to, you have a problem. Anyway,
Well, I can name the title.
can we not try to get it? What's
No,
the-
I can't. I'm not gonna say.
Don't say it.
We can't play the music, but we can say the
We're still not
song.
going to say it because if you
Oh,
don't
okay.
know what we're talking about, then
Well, sometimes it's referring to another song called "Bicycle."
that's fair.
Yes.
But anyway,
I know, yes.
But anyway, anyway, so moving on here,
All right.
Kenny, I don't care anymore. I don't.
No.
I don't. He's done nothing for me, and the transition will be here from one carrot that was dangled that I didn't care about to the carrot that I get to keep eating that I'm actually now engaged in. Sasha Bailey.
Ugh.
I don't agree that we're already having the match Now, it'll probably be a match that either ends in like a DQ or a double count out or something like that. This match
Or
happening this Friday.
maybe they won't even have a match because Bailey will be like whatever, and she could do something like that to. Kill
That's
it,
fair, but it's just I
They
wish
shouldn't be doing it now.
No, I okay, here's the deal. I have liked everything up until the Sasha promo, which the promo wasn't bad, but I don't like that she took the collar off. I don't like that out of that promo we have a match. I would have preferred a promo. If you want to attack her with a chair, I don't care. But the honestly only issue I have is, yes, I don't think that this one match on basic cable is going to be the end of Sasha Bailey,
No.
but it's too early for them to touch hands. Okay? You know the old idea of like, okay, you know, you're going to have to pay to see them touch. It's the old boxing analogy. You know, and it's what UFC does great. We talked about that with Eric. You get the matchup, but you got to pay for it. It ain't going to be free on Spike on a regular fight night. It's going to be on a pay-per-view. You got to pay me $50 for it.
Oh, definitely.
And yes, I know that they can't sell tickets. Yes, I know they're not selling pay-per-views because it'd be on the network, but it's still not the time for a payoff. Is a basic cable match.
Yeah. I hope they are smart enough not to do that. I don't even want to see it at Hell in a Cell. I don't. I mean, a match at Survivor Series would be fine because that gives a little bit more, but
Hear me out.
it should have been a better build up to later.
Hear me
on.
out. Hear me out.
Yeah.
Everything happens up until now, but now but now let's end Sasha's promo without the match announcement. So let's just hypothetically say Sasha spoke, but everything has still happened up until now. Bailey got attacked with a chair, all that kind of stuff. Sasha's promo ends. There's not a match. She doesn't take the soft collar off. She's still hurt. Something happens that have Bailey go through to Survivor Series. Have Bailey get attacked by Sasha again when Bailey's going to be in the proverbial triple threat match between the NXT champion, the SmackDown Women's Champion, the Raw Women's Champion.
Yeah.
And then have Sasha screw Bailey somehow there. And then Survivor Series, that happens. Bailey's pissed. Now we get to the Rumble. And you can either then have Sasha be a surprise entrant, or Bailey could say, I know you're now clear. Because, I mean, the Rumble seems far enough out to me that Sasha will be healthy.
Yes.
That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
respectable amount of time that I believe that Sasha's healthy. So have that happen. Have a winner at the Rumble go face Asuka. And then, you know, turn around and have Bailey and Sasha have a match at have a match at the Rumble. It ends with Bailey winning. And then start the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Nobody see. It's interesting because at least in my opinion, if we're on the road to WrestleMania, nobody cares how long somebody holds a title. It happens so quickly. Nobody
Oh, yeah.
cares. See, my issue with the Omega Page breakup was how long they teased it. But if we're on the road to WrestleMania, you know what WrestleMania is going to be, and you're looking forward to WrestleMania, so nobody cares about the build-up. I mean, they care, but they don't care how long it is. I mean,
No, yeah.
You
I
get what I'm
totally
saying,
agree.
basically.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
but yeah, so but I mean, I feel like you could have done that,
They should have.
and then okay. So anyway, any changes to my timeline that you want to make, or is that
No, I think that would work. I mean, yeah, the extended. I mean, I think maybe the only reason why they're kind of rushing into it is because
the
they don't
pandemic?
have much anything else. You know.
It's also been the only real running story they've had.
Yeah,
for the whole
you know,
summer.
you don't have Charlotte. Charlotte's not going to be there for a little while. They don't have really anybody else that is stepping up. Really.
And I saw this quote in the lounge recently. I don't think they trust a lot of people outside of the Four Horsewomen.
Yeah, I
Which is-
wouldn't. I don't blame them.
Alexa's been hurt. That's why she's kind of working in a certain way.
That's good.
I said her first name. I should have said her last name because your Google went off. But anyway, but no. Bliss is now involved with something. Asuka's great, but I still don't think they trust Asuka to be the flagship woman.
No.
But they trust Bailey, and obviously the NXT Women's Division is kind of its own little world right now. And obviously you've got Tegan Nox out, so there's an issue with Tegan Nox with injury history. You've got Dakota Kai, who still needs something. You've got Rhea Ripley, who's really not in the title picture, but is still there, I guess.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, how would you book Sasha Bailey right now a little better? Because, like I said, I love everything except for the end of, or sorry, not the end. I guess the best word to say is the results of Sasha's
Injury.
promo. The results being the match, basically.
Yeah. No, I think they should have played the injury out a little bit longer than they did.
Okay.
But I guess I understand why they are trying to change it up. But yeah, I think, your storyline I think would be great if they can extend it a little bit longer than what they have.
And you can easily push this to WrestleMania.
Very easily. I mean, it does, it wouldn't matter. Honestly, it wouldn't matter if Bailey lost to Sasha and Sasha had that belt, because she could go on a pay-per-view and do a rematch against Bailey and actually win a tag match during a pay-per-view. I mean, they could do that, but keeping it on Bailey the whole time probably be the best course.
I think it has to be a payoff. I think it has to be a payoff match, not a revenge style match. And I think the payoff is a winning of a title, not a defense of a title.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily believe that. You'd have to get really lucky, in my opinion, to get to a scenario where a payoff is a defense of a championship versus a victory.
Shut up, cat. More annoying than the kids sometimes.
Right? Yeah.
Like, shut
so
up.
I mean, look, I like it. I mean, I still care about it more than I care about Omega and Paige.
Oh yeah.
By a long shot.
But as I said, I'm looking forward to see on Friday how they do it. I mean, and also we'll probably talk about more of it next week, is the draft starts on Friday on SmackDown and is going to end on. Is it gonna end? Yeah, they're just gonna have the 2 nights, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but it is supposed to involve.
It's all 3 brands.
All 3 shows.
Yeah, it's gonna be
which
all 3.
was like, why not put it on NXT once too?
Right.
So
we just mentioned her earlier. Leroy, your thoughts on Little Miss Bliss now, I guess, officially aligned with The Fiend?
Yeah, I'm gonna drop mine right here. I fucking loved it. Oh my! And I
Alexa can sell really well. She's made me believe this. It's really interesting. It's not cheesy. I'm not finding it cheesy.
I think the fun part about that Friday is I had the kids home with me. Usually they're at grandma's on Friday night, but I didn't work Saturday, so they're home with me, and we got to watch. And sitting next to my kids, they love The Fiend, and they're creeped out by The Fiend.
Right.
But they love The Fiend.
So am I. I'm incredibly creeped out by The Fiend, but I also think it's one of the best things.
Oh yeah, right now. And both my kids, Eben probably loved it almost as much as me.
Yeah.
But he loved it too. I mean, I looked at him and said, he's coming out. Boom! All of a sudden, there he is, and there the way they're doing it, it's not ending yet. There still is so much more they could do with this draft. What are they going to do? Are they going to bring Braun back into the fold with that, or what?
Yeah.
I mean, they still can with Braun, or just have Bliss and The Fiend go. And is she going to be on the Firefly? And is she going to be in the Funhouse? Do you think?
Well, there's only one person on the Funhouse who's not a puppet. So that'd be really interesting.
It'd be kind of interesting to get her. Maybe she will not be on there, but I don't know.
It seems to me that Alexa Bliss is right now in with The Fiend, not with Bray Wyatt. It
Yeah.
almost seems like it's two separate things. You know?
Maybe they'll have a pup with her. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I think it'd be kind of fun to see how her character keeps evolving with this.
And you know what's interesting to me is, and honestly, contradict me if you will, but to me, it doesn't seem like a love interest angle.
No,
I'm not getting that vibe. Are you?
no, I'm not. Some people are,
Yeah.
and I'm like, no. It's kind of, it's like, yeah, people would love me saying this. It's kind of like, oh, God, my brain. It's just somebody. She's kind of like brainwashed. It's kind of like, David Koresh kind of
Okay.
ish a little bit.
gonna-
Charlie Manson
I was gonna say
kind of.
I was gonna say anyone that believes Trump, but that's a whole other.
Well, yeah, but yeah, just
that's a whole other argument.
but
we'll
yeah,
have
it's
another
like it's kind of like the Charlie Manson. I mean, the way he did he kind of convinced his heroes to see the light, and that's kind of what it is
Okay,
with
yeah.
me,
Well,
which
no.
is not a bad thing
Well, no,
either. So
well, no, and while I 100% agree with that, I'm not getting, as you've confirmed, you believe, I'm not seeing It doesn't seem like Alexa is in love with the Fiend. It just seems like Alexa is enlightened by the Fiend's presence. Does that make sense?
yeah, and she kind of said that too.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
goes, "He's opened my eyes."
Yeah.
So
But
yeah,
does it, which is good because one of my biggest things is whether these days there's always something, whether it's a comedy or a horror film or a action film, there's always a love angle, always, and I don't feel like we're getting that here, right, at least yet.
and they kind of, and they probably, hopefully, did it on purpose
Yeah.
as they started in October. Well, it's Halloween.
Yeah.
So, it's good. It's going to go longer than, of
Oh,
course, this, but it's a great month to start it out.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah. No, looks great.
I honestly, I told my kids, I said, wouldn't it be fun if I got the Fiend mask? And then I would go around the neighborhood and
Do you
scare.
have the money for an authentic Fiend mask?
I'd
It's expensive.
have to look.
It's
How,
expensive.
is it really that expensive?
I think it's like $800.
Holy crap.
I
Well,
think- but
I'll
I
get a non-authentic one, and then
A
I told my
knockoff
kids
mask?
a knockoff, and I would go in the
knockoff mask, yeah.
neighborhood and scare the poop out of the kids.
Good.
And Evan said that would be awesome.
So moving forward, there. So we've had that. Night of Champions has come and gone, which I am going to say right here, right now. 5-star. Out of 5 for
Really?
the whole night. And I'll explain why.
Okay,
why. But no. Here's the deal.
I'd give it a 4.5. I wouldn't do 5.
Here's why I say 5.
Okay.
Nobody won a title. And that's not why I'm giving it a 5. Despite the fact nobody won a title, every single story that okay, because every match obviously had a story.
Oh yeah.
Everything existed in its own story. Okay, before we go match by match, was there any match that didn't add to the storyline of everything? Did you get another
no.
layer? That's why I'm giving it a 5. Because
But see, well, to the one match, nobody won a title. The Intercontinental match. It's like you could say, yeah, he did win a title because he wasn't there, but it's
But
that
that's
they
my
both
po-
had a title.
But
so.
that's my point. Is theoretically everyone story wise everyone retained. But that's
Yes.
my point. Is that okay? So we'll go match by match, and I'll explain my point.
Okay.
First of all, you had Cesaro and Shinsuke defeating the Lucha House Party. It added to it. It was a good match between some good working teams. You obviously saw the distension continuing in the Lucha House Party. You had all the things that you had. Shinsuke and Cesaro continue to work well together. I look at the whole scenario and I say to myself, it was a good, solid match, and
They were in it to make you hungry.
and I continued to see a continuation of a story going forward. I liked it. it made sense, and I can look at it and I can say there's still more to have here. It's not done. It's not over. Nothing in this show gave me a finality, which I think is good, which I enjoyed.
Oh,
I'm excited about the fact. Yeah.
One of these? No. Yeah, my starving children.
Yeah, you know. How many times have I told you just lock them in a bedroom?
I can't legally do that.
That's fair.
That's would be, you're not taking the whole box. It would be very bad. And their
Well, luckily
mom
no one
probably
listens to
would
this
be-
show, so we're
Well,
so.
well, no, there are
nobody-
people that listen to
nobody
this
find
show.
out. Yeah, but they're all in Europe. What are you gonna do? Call
Nobody
Chopper
in
next-
authority. In the
Exactly.
superior.
That's
Yes, there
what
we
we're
go.
going there. But no.
Yeah, go ahead. Give your brother one.
But no. It was a good opening contest. It was about 11 minutes. It went a good length of time. Did you hate it? Did you dislike it?
No, I did not dislike any of the matches.
Well, you have a
For the pay-per-view.
4.5, which is honestly where I'd be, but I'm at a 5 only because I actually am seeing payoffs from it happening. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, but anyway. Number 2, the ladder match. This was a good ladder match.
Yes, it was.
And by that I mean this. If you look at AEW, and sorry to bring them up again, but everything with them is objects, hardcore wrestling, theatrics, high flying. This was a prime example where outside of Jeff, because this is Jeff's wheelhouse, the ladders were not overused, but they also weren't forgotten about, and they were used as ladders, not so much springboards. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They weren't used as a tool to get to the next move. They were actually used as weapons.
Yeah. If it would have been other people in the match, then maybe they would be used different than that. But
These 3 guys all knew what they were doing. They knew how to handle things.
yeah, the sun is great some days. Oh yeah, they did. I mean, some of the spots, I told Evan, was like, "Hey, ladder match coming," and when the one that made me go, "Oh my god," and as I was telling us, said, "You know what they say when this stuff happens like this?
Don't try it at home.
Don't try it at home, but holy shit!"
Yeah.
When
Jeff jumped
when
off.
Jeff and when Sammy
that's
was
my
and
point.
broke that ladder into,
But
holy
But
crap!
that's my point. That was a spot that worked because of Jeff's history.
Yeah.
If this was an AEW style match, they all would have been flying off the ladders. They all would have been doing crazy stunts. They all played to their strengths of their built characters. We all know Sammy was involved in a lot of ladder wars when he was in ROH against KO when he was Kevin Steen, and obviously El Generico was what Sammy was. Rest in peace, El Generico. You obviously are somewhere in Mexico buried. We'll have to go to his grave someday and leave flowers for El Generico.
Oh yeah.
But no, it's just this match. Dare I say, it was in the realm not of greatness, but it was in the style of Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
meant to be overly theatric. The ladder was a ladder. It wasn't a springboard. It wasn't just there. It wasn't a third competitor. It was a big, bulky, it's gonna hurt tool. Dare I say that's the style ladder match we got. We didn't get because sadly AEW would have set 4 ladders up, and those would have become the new turnbuckles. The turnbuckle would have just gone 10 more feet in the air. But no, the ladders were used as ladders, and does that make sense to you?
Oh, it does totally. I honestly thought. I didn't think Sammy was going to win. I thought Jeff was going to win,
Yeah,
and it surprised me a little bit,
yeah.
which I enjoyed, but I did like how he ended it.
Right.
I was like, that slide W
But
with the handcuff. It was
but
great.
Again, you gave me a story where Sami Zayn is not being presented differently. He's still the guy who's gonna outthink you, not out wrestle you.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. It made sense. And then the dropping it of of the non-belt in the trash can.
Yep.
on SmackDown was great as well.
Yeah.
It's just this ladder match was not too much over the top. It was just the right amount of ladders.
Yeah, and even with the match on SmackDown between him and Jeff lost,
Yeah.
it still leaves it open for another match with
Yes.
him later. It also brings, you got to bring AJ in there because,
If AJ doesn't get moved to Raw.
yeah, if he doesn't, but he still has that opportunity to
Yeah.
get in and continue the story. Yeah, if one of them gets drafted onto Raw, then yeah, it's going to be whoever's left over
Yeah.
to go in that story, but there still is plenty of room for that.
Yeah. And by the way, great work for about 25 minutes.
Oh.
They did just over 25 minutes. Great,
Yeah.
Great work. Obviously, when you have a match, not only befitting the Intercontinental title, but also a match where you're going to use a stipulation such as ladder match, it deserves a little extra time than most
Yeah.
things on the card.
And then some people realize that the other unfortunate circumstances that
Yeah.
two matches had to be changed. One totally removed from the pay-per-view,
Yeah.
and the other one changed.
We'll get to that in
yeah.
a second here. Now, this next match, gonna be honest, again, based on how I'm reviewing this pay-per-view, 5 out of 5 storytelling versus 5 out of 5 action. This is my surprise match of the night right here. Asuka versus Selena Vega, and here's why. Selena Vega, in my opinion, looked the best here.
She did look
And here's
really
why.
good.
We know Selena Vega can fight because A, we've seen her kind of wrestle, but also, you look at who her husband is, and we all know he can fight.
Oh yeah.
But it's just no. First of all, even though it was a pay-per-view match, she looked like a girl. Her outfit befitted that of a girl just getting into wrestling. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I understand. Yeah.
The tights where she had the black pantyhose type look. Normally, if you're a bigger star in women's wrestling, it's more skin, so they take that off. It looked like she was getting into her run. Selena Vega looked good, number one. It was a good match for what it was. Asuka clearly carried it. We all know that's a thing.
Oh, yeah.
But Selena came off good here. Selena came off as someone who, even though she's still just starting her singles career, she can go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I believe that Selena can be a challenger to Asuka. But Selena didn't try to be better than Asuka. Does that make sense?
That totally does. Yes.
Okay. So I mean, honestly, your thoughts on this match? Because like I said, for me, it was damn near perfect for what it was trying to do for me, which was Selena Vega is still new at this, and Asuka's still head and shoulders above her, but Selena can go.
Yeah. No, I thought it was great. And there was more offense.
Yeah.
From Zelina than I thought that she would have put out. And yeah, I mean, the story of everything. And
Selena came off more cerebral than actually athletic. Does that make
yeah.
sense?
Oh yeah, because she went after that, the arm, shoulder, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that was perfect. And the story, boom, everything. It's like, yeah, she was not ready for Asuka. No, she wasn't. And Asuka proved it.
Yeah.
And very good. I mean,
But you set up something with Selena obviously hitting Asuka after the bell
oh yes.
type of situation.
Yeah.
So once again, you're giving me more content.
Oh yeah.
It was great. Now we move on to the Hurt Business. Bobby Lashley versus Apollo Crews. Okay. It was just stellar. It was.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying it was a 5-star match. I'd say it was a good 3 out of 5 star. But Apollo looked like Apollo, and Bobby looked like Bobby. Apollo showed that he can match strength with Bobby Lashley, but he can also out-wrestle Bobby Lashley. But it also showed that Bobby is just a freak.
Oh,
That
yeah.
Bobby is
God,
just an
he is.
absolute behemoth monster. And obviously MVP was great, talking against Ricochet. Where's Cedric gone? We have an idea where Cedric has been? I haven't seen Cedric in a couple of weeks.
Well, they supposedly said because of something that he did, he had to go back to the Hurt Business school.
Oh, okay.
So
I probably missed that.
yeah, they just said it quickly. MVV just said that quickly.
Okay. Okay.
Like on the shore. So I watched some back behind the scene crap,
Yeah.
and I saw that in there.
But no, it's just this match. It was nothing that stole the show. Not that it was supposed to. Like it's like, look, everybody wants to go out there and obviously steal the show, but sometimes you just have to be on the card and put on a good match and keep the pay-per-view going.
Yeah.
Especially when we had multiple matches canceled, obviously. So, but no, I liked it. Again, Bobby keeping the belt, no issue with that right now.
Oh,
It
yeah, no
continues
problem
to
with
add
that, yeah.
animosity to everything. It was great. Loved it. Now we move on to the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza. Obviously, this match, I don't know if the referee botch was because of the injury to Garza, or if the botch was supposed to happen.
The way I looked at it, I probably most likely is he didn't realize
Andrade
was injured. I think the communication.
Garza.
I think the communication broke down a little bit. That the ref didn't
Well, but
get to
remember-
him say that. So
Well, remember, Andrade was the one that got pinned. He clearly kicked out, but the referee kept counting. So
Yeah.
here's my intrigue. Whether or not it's intentional or by accident, you've created more content for me. I can get something out of this. Somehow, we're not done. Even though Garza got hurt, it doesn't sound like he's going to be out forever. I think I heard he'll be out 1 to 3 weeks or something with a slight tear in his quad or something like that.
yeah, I heard. Well, I get a quad tear, and then 1 to 3 weeks. I was like, really? That's it? I thought it would be out a little bit longer.
Well,
than
it's
that,
probably
but
not a complete tear like Triple H. It's probably just a slight,
a slight tear.
Yeah,
So-
but no, that's my thing. It's just, again, okay. First and foremost, let me preface a lot of this by saying not a single match was bad wrestling,
No.
but we're analyzing where we go from here. We're analyzing the next chapter in the storyline for each match. No, Street Profits looked as good as they ever have. Andrade can maybe show a little bit of what he can do without having Selena cheat for him, without having Angel Garza be there. I mean, Andrade is extremely talented. Love
Oh, he
Andrade.
is very talented. Oh yeah.
in the ring. Now we go on to a match that had to be redone a little bit.
Yeah.
Bailey versus Asuka again. Clearly,
A
Bailey,
surprise one.
Yeah, clearly Bailey is not done with Asuka or Sasha.
Yeah.
This match was obviously put together last minute due to the pandemic situation involving Nikki Cross. Again, this became further the story of Sasha and Bailey. Asuka just happened to be the vessel for it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what that became. Now we move on to the ambulance match. Your thoughts? Go ahead.
I loved it. One of my favorites of the night.
Okay.
I mean, the kids loved it too. I mean, just they let it all hang out.
And it's
I mean,
always been a very interesting concept. How do you make it work?
well, they did I mean, they didn't hold anything back.
No.
They beat the hell out of each other, and even I was a little shocked when he got dropped. Drew got dropped into the front windshield,
Yeah.
and then you look later, it's like, oh, there's some blood.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and I looked at him, Evan, what? Check it out. He go, what? He's cut.
I
He's like,
honestly
"Oh."
thought it was the back of Drew's head at first, but then obviously when I saw the blood, I realized it was his
Yeah,
back.
and I'm like, I wonder how they're gonna play that out.
Yeah.
And when the camera went on him, he got wiped off
Yep.
because there was less blood and everything.
Yep.
I did enjoy the insect or the legend showing up
Yes.
and interfering with the match. You know, the Big Show first,
Where were
dropping
you
him
going
out.
with that?
I was
Insect?
trying. I was
What
trying. Whatever. Intersect, something like that.
Something
You know.
injection
And
of the legends.
There you go.
What exactly were you going with?
I was trying to somewhere in that. You know.
English has failed you.
Oh, today it's just I need more caffeine or something. I don't
Yeah,
know,
I don't
or
know.
more food.
But
But I did. I mean, I loved how they did it. I was like, okay, boom. It's like, okay, there's Big Show. Oh, there's Christian. Okay. Then I was like,
there's Big Show with a bald face, which I haven't seen.
I know
in
it's
almost
been a while.
20
It's like,
years,
wow.
so.
But everybody is like, okay. Then I'm like, okay, Shawn Michaels. I'm like, okay, where's Flair? Why can't Flair? He drove the ambulance way. I'm like, oh my god.
Here's the deal. Drew looks great. Randy has an out. It doesn't kill Randy. Obviously, the situation on Raw the next night
It
was
continued,
great.
yes.
Helps continue it. Look, nothing was cinematic here. It was all right in front of you. It was all live. It was all raw, and it no pun intended, but it was all unscripted to the level that it was. But first of all, one funny thing is, how do you not like? I love how Randy gets grabbed by the foot by Big Show, turns around and goes, "Wait, who is that?" And Big Show has to pull the mask. And I'm like, how do you not know that's Big Show?
No, it's like
that's the only moment that I had a question. Like,
big
who,
son of a
who
bitch.
else is that big with that giant tiger tattoo thing? Like, I just.
Yeah.
But no. I mean, it was good. The story's not over.
No.
We're not done. And you got a great little fun, nostalgic thing out of all of it. Randy gets to get a little more vicious, which I think adds to the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
It was great. And like I said, I'm not ready to move off Drew. So it was great. Loved it. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's like when he did his final, he did the Claymore, and then he
this is
was
also
ready to be done, and then he kicked him in the head.
And this is also not, like I said, this is not your payoff yet.
No.
The story's not done. This doesn't have to be the athletic contest that Randy versus Drew will be when it's the final contest. This was a nice way for Randy to come out of this and still look good.
Yeah.
That's what it was. That's essentially what it was. Now we move on to the match of the night in terms of what I got. Just Roman Reigns defending against his cousin Jey Uso. It was ended by technical knockout. There was a towel moment. And by the way, AEW, that's how you do a towel moment.
Yes.
Not your Brian Cage is in an arm bar for uncomfortably too long to the point where at this point Jon Moxley's just not actually hurting him. And then the towel gets thrown in because it's like, we protected his arm. No. This is how you pull a towel out. And for those of you who are like, this is pro wrestling. Why do we have a towel? This is a combat sport. They've always tried to make it like that. Throwing in the towel has always been a thing. Since the days of boxing.
Yeah, they don't use it a lot.
No.
But it's there.
When you bring it out, you bring it out. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But no, this is how you do it. I loved it. Jay looked good athletically. Having Jimmy hobble out there was great. You had a moment between those two that I think, yes, is a little bit carbon copy of the moment between Dijakovic and Keith Lee when Dijakovic was getting choked out by Karrion Kross, but they're brothers. So you felt that in your soul a little more. This was a match that if you are really close with your family, boy, you felt this one.
Oh yeah.
You felt a lot of different emotions in this one. Paul Heyman was pretty much a non-factor, which is great.
Yeah.
Paul is there. Paul's not driving the storyline as much as I think he normally would with Brock. So I like it. I think it's great. Roman looked great. I thought they were going to change his music, number one.
I heard that, but then I heard what he was going to come out different.
Yeah.
Different setup for the matches, and he came out no armor plating.
Putting the lay across him that Jay came out with. It solidified to me Roman's a heel. There's no argument there anymore.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't know why there's still detractors from that.
Because they don't want to believe.
Right. Roman thinks he's the good guy in this scenario. He was a douchebag to his cousin. He said, "Call me your chief. Say that I'm the guy," type of situation. It was great. I loved it. To me, the payoff from this is why it was the match of the night. I just, this whole pay-per-view, the first time I watched it as an athletic contest. It was good. 4 stars, 4.5.
Yeah.
Now that I look at it in a continuation Oh boy, it's a 5. It has to be for me, because yeah, I got payoffs in every scenario. At least I got continuations of payoffs.
Well,
Nothing.
yes.
Nothing ended. This pay-per-view did not end any of these feuds.
No.
Hell, if anything, Asuka's still involved in Sasha and Bailey. As far as this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It still does. Yeah. No. The way they with Roman and Uce. I mean, it could go many. The brother coming in there and him. Putting his thing in there saying, "Why did you do this?" They could have a story off of that.
Oh yeah,
and then just
love it.
And they hinted towards another match at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
And the stipulation is the biggest thing. Was not said what it was.
Right.
So you can sit there and go, well, what is going to be the stipulation? He has to sit there and admit that and say, you are my chief.
Yeah.
Or is it going to be something else? I mean,
it's look. Everybody keeps saying, where have they been hiding this Roman Reigns? But hear me out for a second. Do you think this would be working to the level that it is if Roman hadn't gone through everything he's already gone through?
No, it wouldn't have.
The Shield, number one. The face turn that no one wanted. The face turn that was shoved down our throats. The him not being a bad guy, not being a good guy, he's just the guy. Then Roman being the good guy again. I don't think that there'd be as much heel heat here right now. Because right now, in my opinion, this particular feud is as white hot as you're going to get.
Oh, yeah.
There is no, lukewarmness right here. This is as hot as you're going to be right now. But I don't think it would be at this level if Roman had... everyone's like, well, give us this Roman back then, and we wouldn't have had all this hate.
No.
But this is what we need.
Oh, yeah. It fits so much.
It's so good.
And where they could go with this, I mean, it could be, boom.
And whether or not you hate Roman because he was shoved down your throats or you hate Roman because he's a good heel, you don't like him, you're booing him, now you're supposed to boo him, it actually works.
Oh, yeah. But
this is perfect because I don't think you get this kind of story if Roman doesn't go through all the things he's already been through. It was great. Also, Sami Zayn won, Roman Reigns won. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, don't listen to Dave Meltzer, who reported when this whole thing started, any wrestler that sits out due to this pandemic will be punished severely when they get back. Clearly that's not happening.
No.
So nobody needs to listen to Dave Meltzer anymore on his bull crap. Because I can't believe half of what he reports anymore. It's such insanity.
Well, the one thing I'm looking forward to is how they end this, but how they could team up the Usos with Roman.
Yes.
That faction right there.
A forced relationship.
A Samoan.
Or a relationship where they just become indebted to him. I mean,
yeah, anything like that.
It could go 9 different ways, and I love that. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, that family connection right there, that would be great. They could steamroll a lot of crap. And especially if they have the right people to be able to feud with them. I mean, it'll be really good. Maybe in the time when they get it back that the New Day will come back. And I know Uce and New Day is always put on some damn good shows.
So, okay, again, here's my question to you. You still putting it at about 4.5 overall?
I'm going to do a 4.5. I still am, yes.
Okay,
yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
For me, like I said, I think it's a 4 based on athleticism. I think it's a 5 because I can't not look at it and not think to myself, nothing happened just to happen. Everything happened for a reason. And even, you get some WrestleManias that don't get that.
No, that's true, yeah.
I can't honestly think of the last time I saw a pay-per-view where every match that happened gave me hope for the continuation of the story. I just, nothing seemed like it's over, but it also didn't seem, but also nothing happened to where I'm like, well, I'm out on this. Nothing
Yeah.
happened like that. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Absolutely loved it. 5 out of 5 for me. I know my 5-star ratings don't go as far as Meltzer's, although his are getting crappier and crappier by the day because
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I won't even get into that. So might as well just get right into this. From one pay-per-view to tonight's pay-per-view, NXT TakeOver is not on a Saturday before a pay-per-view. It gets its own Sunday.
There actually is. I think it's kind of neat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Why
enjoyable.
don't you go ahead and let us know what's happening?
All right. Well, let's see here. We got first match. They have listed on here is North American Championship. Damian Priest against Johnny Gargano.
Yep.
And then we got the women's championship match. The other half of the couple,
Of the Gargano couple.
Candice LeRae against Io Shirai. We got NXT championship match, Finn Balor against Kylie O'Reilly. I loved their 1-to-1 sit down with Shawn Michaels on Wednesday.
That was great.
That was very enjoyable.
Finn plays the bad guy so well.
He does.
He just
oh,
does. And honestly, Kyle comes across really great here. I mean, I don't think it is a terrible switch from him being a heel a month ago to
Yeah.
now. Kyle's
Yeah.
come off great.
And then it's kind of a Velveteen Dream against Kudashi with
Kushida.
Hey, sorry, yeah. I love those.
This is
This'll
the
be a good
best
one.
I think Kushida has been presented since he got here. This is awesome. I love this version of Kushida. I also like that it's not a straight heel turn for Kushida. It's just Kushida getting more vicious
Yeah.
in a good way.
And then to top off the night, probably will not go this way
Yeah.
for order of matches,
Yeah.
but cruiserweight title was Escobar against Isaiah Swerve Scott. It'll be good.
Yeah, and like I said, there's a lot of build up to all these matches. They've done a really good job prepping this particular pay-per-view.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Is this the time for the Garganos to finally have enough to rebuild NXT in their own image?
I don't know.
You could say that Johnny being the NXT champion would give him more power, but I still think Johnny can see if Johnny wins, which I don't think it's time to end Damian Priest's reign.
no,
at
I
all.
don't think so either.
But if Johnny wins, Johnny, I think, can still sit there and say, I'm going to make this title bigger than the NXT title, and then that's going to give Johnny the opportunity to be more annoying. You know, it's like, I'm really conflicted here. I almost want this, although I wouldn't mind seeing Isaiah Swerve Scott beat Escobar, because I think that would add a lot to their thing if Escobar's no longer the champion, because Swerve is a great competitor.
He is,
But
yes.
here's the deal. If all 3 championships don't change hands, I'm okay with that. Because I don't think you've gotten everything out of these 3 reigns. First of all, Finn's reign is still, you know, it hasn't
Very
even
fresh.
It hasn't even had enough time to have a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Io Shirai has not lost momentum at all. I think Candice is getting more momentum. I think she's getting better, but I don't think that Io Shirai has lost enough steam to where you take it off her.
No, definitely not.
And then, like I said, Damian Priest. Goddamn, he is everything that AEW wants Luchasaurus to be.
Yeah, he's become my my favorite on NXT now.
He's so good. He looks. You know, the thing is, he looks like somebody. He's someone that I kind of want to see. I can't wait to see. He's someone that I would pay to see. Damian Priest is exactly what I think they want right now. So, again, while I think that you've been pushing the Gargano way for so long, and you've built up Kyle O'Reilly so well these past couple of weeks, despite all of that, I don't see any title changes.
No.
Or I don't necessarily want them, because I still think there's a lot to do with everything.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah. I mean, Damian Priest. I mean, just, watching with my son, I'm like, watch this guy. And I showed him. I said he's pretty cool. And my son, oh yeah, he's cool. I mean,
Damian Priest is athletic. He's
Yeah.
big. He can move like a small guy, but he can still, he is another, and they look similar too. He is the modern day of Razor Ramon.
yeah.
I'm not going to say he is Razor Ramon because look, for anyone that's never gone back or didn't see it at the time, Razor Ramon was just so smooth. He was
yes.
Razor, when Scott Hall was Razor Ramon and he was at his peak, and he wasn't all juiced up on the junk that he was on, and he didn't have his demons. God, Razor Ramon was so much fun to watch. Those matches were so good.
Oh yeah.
And Razor Ramon, one of those underrated talents that just, oh my God. I honestly, in terms of pure, they get it, you got to put Razor in that category of people. Just so good.
Yeah, it's like, let Damian Priest get this title for a while, and if you take it off from, that's fine.
Yeah.
But he could go to the
At the same
he
time,
could go
though,
to the main roster too.
At the same
after
time,
that.
though, pulling the rug out from under us quickly would make us hate the Garganos more, and that's kind of what they're going for. So
Oh, yeah, it definitely would. Yes.
I don't want it to happen, but if it happens, I'll get where they're going. That's that's the best way that I can say it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna move on here to another interesting scenario here. Weird place to have it, but we're gonna get the sadness out of the way, and then we're gonna have some love a little bit later. We're gonna have a tribute show here in a couple of weeks to LOD, Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors. This past 2 weeks here now, Road Warrior Animal passed away, ladies and gentlemen. John.
September 22nd is the official day.
Yep, September 22nd. Mr. Laurinaitis met the man obviously at at some events.
Yeah.
Had a chance to interview him, but we ended up with D'Lo. Still awesome to do D'Lo.
Yeah, it would have been a hell of a chance if we would have got to actually interview with him.
This hits me hard because, call me crazy, maybe it's the Minnesota in me. I look at the Road Warriors in the same light as Hulk Hogan. I do. To me, the Road Warriors are wrestling. They just are.
Yeah, and as I told you, I mean, and I didn't think this bothered me or affected me that much until I got home that day. And usually I call and talk to somebody, but I didn't feel like doing that. No. I just I'm going to do my stuff. Yeah. And as I told Zach, I mean, this hurts. I mean, we've done a few of them already, and it's tough. Yeah. But this one really hurts because, as I told my son, and I got to sit down with my son later on, and he's 8, and it was about his age that I got introduced to wrestling and grew up.
They are the prime example of, and here's the thing, to me, they deserve to be in the same category as Sting in the sense of, hear me out before we say anything, they were bodybuilders who got into the sport, but they learned and became one of the boys.
Yeah.
It's like Animal and Hawk. I think we all know their run in the NWA, AWA, WCW before they got the WWF. God, they were money. Jim Ross said it best. No matter what you thought about them, they could put an ass every 18 inches. They could sell tickets.
Yeah, I mean, they did.
You didn't need a world championship match on your card if you had the Road Warriors.
Oh yeah, I mean, I mean, they were put as heels, but when you're in that arena, and I can't do it as good as him, but you're sitting there, all of a sudden you hear
they created a term called the Road Warrior Pop. And by the way, there is not a single person in this business that has ever denied it to be real.
Oh yeah,
as soon as you hear the legendary Hawk's voice,
yeah, you go.
That it gets so loud you can't hear yourself.
Can I try it?
You may.
As he did it, you gotta have a little deeper version, but it's like, oh, what a rush! You heard that, and you just, oh my God. playing that for Eben. I said, here, you should watch these guys. And we watched a little bit, and he heard that. He was like, oh my God. I said, yeah. I said, I grew up. These were my heroes, along with Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair, when I grew up.
Those guys.
They were awesome.
They were also, I guess, I don't really know if anybody has a bad story about them.
No, I
They're
mean,
just
with Hawk is his demons that he dealt with,
Hawk had some
and
issues, yep.
if you have not watched the Dark Side of the Ring with that one, definitely watch it. I mean, it's a good one.
Here's the deal, though. Jim Cornette said this best when he talked about Animal. He's glad that they did the Dark Side of the Ring LOD while Animal was still alive.
Yeah, I do agree. They couldn't have done it without him.
It's nice that It's nice that he got to be a part of that. It's nice that he got to be able to talk through that, and Paul as well. We're gonna have ourselves a little big tribute show to them here coming up. Where we're not gonna talk about.
Oh no, I
any
mean
of the
they're
stuff here.
they're
We're gonna save all the good stuff for when we talk about them, and because in my opinion, we're gonna do the 10 bells for them at that show, but we're gonna mention it here. But we're going to make sure that we give a celebration of their life and their career the full hour or so that it deserves here when we can. Because, okay, call me crazy. The Dudleys have the record for the most title wins. You can't name a better tag team, in my opinion. Because here's the deal. When you think tag team wrestling, it starts and ends with the Road Warriors.
Oh, yeah. They won a title at every promotion they wrestled.
It's not just that, Leroy.
But
they
were awesome.
They were the show.
Oh yeah.
They were awesome, and like Jim said, they were guys that if you did right by them, they didn't hurt you. They did right by you. They worked with you. They sold when you did right by them. But then again, people were like, well, they didn't always sell. Yeah, because unless you were, the Ultimate Warrior or Big Show, how were you going to move these two guys? In their prime, they were huge.
Yeah, they were all bouncers. Quite a few of them were bouncers at a bar. And somebody, hey, you should try this. Okay. And boom. And I said they were put together. The Mid-South or whatever. I can't remember whatever. We'll know more about it. But But yeah, I mean, not born... No, they weren't born here in Minnesota, but they moved to Minnesota. They both went to school in Minnesota.
They are, and I quote, they are Minnesota royalty. I don't care what anyone says. Anyone else wants to claim them? No.
No, I mean, they spent many years. I mean, he was born somewhere else, but then they moved and they attended school here in Minnesota. Yeah. They were here in Minnesota. They were billed from Chicago, but we always Minnesota.
Our deepest hearts and condolences go out to his son, who obviously played in the NFL for a short period of time, his wife, the rest of his family, and of course we'd be remiss to forget about Hawk's family because they lost a family member as well.
Yeah, they were brothers. Yeah. They were brothers through and through. And our friend Dave from MAW, he actually was able to go down for the service, and they held it in St. Louis.
Yeah. I just want to point out what also does my heart good, but also kind of hurts more. They weren't a tag team that broke up and it all ended because they had a falling out. They were friends until the end. They were still cool together even after their run was done, and it was just... It's nice to see them reunited, obviously, but it's also really cool to know that they didn't... it's like, here's a little thing for me. Recently, Vinnie Paul, the legendary drummer of Pantera, recently passed away. Actually, I think it's been a couple of years, but anyway, Vinnie passed away, and what bothers me is, look, great factions, great bands, great wrestlers, things happen, okay? It just stinks that sometimes guys go to their grave and they never got to reconcile. They never got to talk it out and be like, hey, we were kids. And that didn't happen. Vinnie Paul still blames Phil Anselmo for not only destroying Pantera, but killing his brother, even though Phil had nothing to do with it. And it's sad that Phil was never able to attend the funeral of a guy that he ruled the world with, basically.
Yeah.
In, in the 90s there. It was just nice to know that these guys, one of them didn't go without them being okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they ever had a bunch of major problems, but obviously we all know Hawk went through what Hawk went through, but it just it does my heart good that they're reunited, but at the same time, it does my heart good to know that they were able to not need a reconciliation post-mortem. They were able to be cool up until Hawk's passing, and now obviously we lose Animal, and I mean it
was 16 years between
Yeah.
the two.
Yeah. It's hard for me because, like I said, you might call me crazy, but Hulk Hogan was on. For me, I think I've gotten to the point in my life where Hulk Hogan is down to the highlights of his career. Like, you can compile it all into like a YouTube video. But there ain't a moment that goes by that if an LOD match pops up, I ain't gonna sit down. I ain't not gonna sit down and watch the whole damn thing.
Oh yeah.
They were always presented as top talent. They always came off as top talent. They were always good guys like top talent. And like I said, I don't think it can be understated. With them, you didn't need a world title on your card.
No.
They were the main event.
Yeah. I mean, they were put together like, maybe this will work. Oh my God, it worked.
And you know, it's like people give Vince a lot of flack for not liking tag team wrestling, and that's why FTR left, and that's why you don't have the teams anymore. But to Vince's credit, tag team wrestling is not what it used to be. You don't have the Rockers or the Midnight Express or the Rock and Roll Express. You don't have the days of Arn and Tully. You don't have the days of the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, whatever incarnation you're talking about. You don't have.
Yeah, there's a couple of them there.
You don't have the days of LOD. And
No.
The Russians obviously were a great tag team. LOD versus the Russians, some of the best tag team wrestling you'll ever go back and see back in those days. But I mean, to Vince's credit, tag team wrestling just doesn't have the dedication. And nothing against FTR, because I think they're the outlier. But you don't have enough dedicated tech. I apologize, by the way. I didn't say the Freebirds. That's my bad.
Yeah, I was going to say, Freebirds,
Yeah,
there were another good
yep,
one
yep.
with them, yep.
But it's just, you don't have... I think FTR is the closest thing we're getting, but you obviously have the New Day. So you have that dedication, but New Day is more of a horseman idea. It's a faction. It's not a tag team. There were multiple Freebirds, but they were a tag team. The Freebirds were a 3-man tag team.
Yeah, I think there was only one other one that they added in, but there was
Right.
4 total, but 3 all the time.
Yeah. But that's my point. Is just it's like I look back at the LOD days and I'm like, I don't know if tag team wrestling can ever be that again.
It would take a lot. We'd have to get a lot more.
Especially since nowadays so many tag teams are just singles guys thrown together because you don't know what you're doing with them.
Yeah.
Nobody's dedicated to tag team wrestling the way FTR is now, the way that New Day is in a lot of ways. I'm not going to take it away from that.
Well, I'd put the Usos in there too.
Oh yeah,
with the brothers.
Yeah.
They're a great success.
100%. But just, God,
Yeah.
you can't. They are the greatest tag team. I'm sorry, because not only did they win, not only were they always top talent, they had the pop.
Yeah.
They had the pop.
And I know Zach has watched that or listened to it. Listen to Cordette's on YouTube talking about the Warriors and Animal and Hawk.
Yeah.
He worked with them for many years. I mean, and it said I grew up watching them, and it's gonna be a tough show doing that, but I'm gonna enjoy it. I mean,
oh, it's gonna be a great show. Because no, and see, and that's why it's like I'm gonna get my feels out here, and we'll probably have some more on that show. But I want to make sure that people realize and get to know the team LOD, the Legion of Doom.
definitely they're on.
With the shoulder pads and everything. I mean, and here's the deal, folks. Some of their best work, it ain't even on the network. You got to go find that on YouTube,
YouTube,
or on the
yes.
internet somewhere. But
They got a good collection
Oh,
on the
it's-
network. As a
they
definitely
do,
start there
Yeah, no, they do. But
and look it up. I mean,
those matches though with the Russians,
oh God, yes.
oh my God.
And that showed true dedication in wrestling. Where was it Nikolai or whatever? It was one of them
Yeah.
actually legally changed his name to stay with K-Fob.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know that, and I was
Yeah.
like, holy crap! And he was from Minnesota, but he
Mhm.
changed his Russian name. You know,
Yeah.
just to work. And yeah,
But no,
Love it.
No,
Love it.
No, so our hearts go out to the Laurinaitis family. They go out to obviously Hawk's family, which again, two guys wishful thinking that you could have seen them both together, and seen them both inducted in the Minnesota Wrestling Hall of Fame together. It was nice to see Paul there with Animal. I apologize.
well, I'm glad. Well, they are in a few Hall of Fames. They got inducted into WWE Hall of Fame, of course.
Yeah.
I saw that and it was great. So
Yeah, I just look. To me, they epitomize Minnesota wrestling. They epitomize wrestling in general, and like I said, nothing against the greatness that is Hulk Hogan, but I feel like at some point Hulk Hogan can be condensed into a YouTube video, and I can't say that about the career of the Road Warriors. So,
yeah, they're in Minnesota Hall of Fame, NWA Hall of Fame, WWE Hall of Fame, and the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame and Museum.
Are they in the Cauliflower
Huh?
Alley Club?
The what one?
Are they in the Cauliflower Alley Club? Well,
Yes.
Oh, they are.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You name it, they're in.
Oh, yeah.
They deserve it. I mean, yeah, just on Animal alone, I have 2 pages, which
Great.
I can do Hawk, and that's
Oh.
another 2 pages just with Hawk too.
We're gonna
so
give them at least an hour.
they definitely
They're gonna get a show.
so
I
deserve
promise
it.
you that.
Yes.
But no 10 bells here because here's the deal. They were a tag team in life. They should be a tag team in the afterlife. I think we should do a 10 bell salutes to the end of LOD. Nothing against Paul, but Paul is not.
He's still with us.
Paul is still with us. Paul would be very proud, I think, to know that we're doing this for those guys. Yeah, we're gonna have a 10 bell salute. A 10 bell salute for Animal would be hard, but I think it's time to have a 10 bell salute for LOD, and we'll do that at their tribute show for us. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna be a long 10 count for me.
If I could figure out some way to get that actually really audio clip without getting in trouble.
Yeah, right.
Of just that one phrase, that's it.
So
Yeah.
so amazing. Anyway, sort of moving on there. Leroy, you have a little day in history for us now.
Yeah,
Now is this day in history for the show we were supposed to do last week, or is it going to be today, October 4th?
This week.
Okay, what do you got for us?
Well, let's see here. I gotta make sure that. All right, 45 years ago today
Okay.
happened the airplane crash that Ric Flair was in.
The airplane crash.
Yes,
Okay.
that. Let's see. It was piloted by a Vietnam War veteran, Joseph Michael Farkas. It had Ric Flair, David Crockett, Bob Burgess, Tim Woods, and Johnny Valentine. Nobody was. They had some serious injuries.
Yeah.
And if I remember, nobody died.
Yeah.
But
That was
everybody's
the
hurt.
plane crash that essentially, I don't want to say rewrote Ric Flair's career, but definitely changed
Well,
the way
he,
Ric wrestled.
He had broke his back in 3 different ways in
Yeah.
3 places, and doctor recommended him never to wrestle again. If he would have listened to it, God, that would have been
Oh.
horrible.
Because I mean, think about that. That was 45 years ago, so that would have been the 80s. You still had a good 40 good years of classic Ric Flair.
And let's see here. Also, that's 12 years ago.
Okay.
We had the first Hell in a Cell, and that was done in the Prudential Center in
12
New
years ago,
Jersey.
2008.
Yeah, 12 years ago.
That was the first Hell in a Cell.
That was the first one.
Shawn
Yeah.
Michaels versus The Undertaker.
No, that was a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view.
Oh.
Not that. That was the one where Degeneration was together.
Oh.
And
okay.
that was one of the main events. It was them against Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase.
Right.
Legacy.
Okay. Yeah.
That
so,
was
so the first Hell in a Cell pay-per-view.
pay-per-view.
Gotcha. Okay.
Not the first. And then also, it was a year ago, just a year ago, and I have a birthday after this. It was the Kofi Squash match on SmackDown.
Once again, we talked about that very early on in our time on the show. I didn't hate that. I'm sorry. Kofi's reign was great. It was time to give it to Brock, and at the end of the day, Kofi did what he was supposed to. He made Brock look dominant.
Yeah.
That's what he did. And you know, we've talked. It's interesting because I want to jump on that for a second. We've talked so much since that match about black, white, anything in this business. Kofi did his job.
Yeah, he did.
In that moment, I didn't see Kofi as black or white. I saw Kofi as another competitor who got in the ring and did what his job was supposed to be. He was thankful for what he got to do. He's obviously still doing it at a high level. So, and again, nothing against Kofi, but Kofi's not a Brock Lesnar. Kofi doesn't sell tickets the way Brock Lesnar does. I'm sorry, he just doesn't.
And a birthday, a special birthday.
All right.
That this is important. She is 72.
Okay.
The lovely, lovely wife of Vince McMahon, Linda McMahon. It's her birthday today. She was lucky enough to bring us two wonderful children, Shane and Steph. Hey,
they're not paying us to say that, by the way.
But hey, they have been a great part of wrestling life and everything that I've grown up with and stuff.
You know. I always say the McMahon family,
and she is a member of Donald Trump's cabinet or some sort. Yeah, she's involved there. So yeah.
But no, here's the deal. The McMahon family is up for the family that not only has killed wrestling, but has also quote unquote made it the biggest attraction in the world that it has. Congratulations to Linda. She was as much a part of the Attitude Era as Annie McMahon was. Big ups to her. She's the one who brought us Mick Foley getting a chance to be champion. You know, that kind of started with her bringing Mick back. It was great.
Yes, happy birthday, Linda.
Happy birthday.
That's awesome. Yes,
great time. So
hopefully,
anyway,
many more years, hopefully.
Yes, many more years. Hopefully, and I love you, Vince, but hopefully your son-in-law gets a few more years to book.
Yes.
Anyway,
yes.
Anyway, okay. So we talked about that. We've done that. Now we're gonna get to a certain situation here. Also, quick note here: Retribution has a bit of a roadblock. They are all currently being quarantined for 2 weeks. Interestingly enough, that probably means we're gonna see a bunch of the stand-in Retribution members.
Maybe they didn't do anything this week.
No,
they just kind of flickered and whatever, hinted toward this. So.
Well, we're not going to get to see T-Bar or Slapjack or.
They need to get new names.
I don't even know. I don't know what we're doing here. We'll get back to that a little later. But
maybe he'll upgrade his mask instead of a paper plate.
Yeah. To be fair though, it looks kind of thick. I think he took multiple paper plates and he just.
Maybe yes.
Yeah. All right, so folks, it's that time again. As much as I hate it, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm about to say is welcome back to something that Leroy and I don't ever want to be a part of again. But welcome back to the dick portion of our show, ladies and gentlemen. Joey Ryan has resurfaced.
Lord have mercy.
And God, effing damn it!
I saw that, and I had to instantly message Zach and say, "Hey, have you seen the emergence of Joey Ryan again?" And I'm going, We don't have to talk about it. He goes, oh, no, we'll talk
For
about it. I'm
those
like,
of
all right.
you who don't know, the hashtag Speak Out movement was a movement recently here that ousted many people in the wrestling business, shut down some companies, one of them being Joey Ryan's Bar Wrestling.
Yep.
And it was a movement that was created to do the right thing, in my opinion. It kind of cast a lot of aspersion on the sport that we loved. I think we can now safely say the Jim Cornette allegations are null and void. Nobody cares.
I know.
Because nobody has seemed to look into them. It's a fun little T-shirt that people can print now, but
Yeah.
for the most part, we have nothing to it. But what did come out of it was, and I want to make sure I mention as much as possible so that when we get to the new news, we've mentioned it all so we can discredit our boy Joey Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
Joey Ryan was mentioned upwards of 20 times. I believe my count was 16, and maybe I got to 22, 24. But
I
Joey,
think it was like that,
yeah, but Joey Ryan was mentioned almost 24 times by 24 different women for being sexually misconducted. I guess is the way to do it. I mean,
Inappropriate
yes,
adult
yes,
connections.
Yes. Joey Ryan, supposedly, and well, I'll say this first so that we can make a timeline. Joey Ryan is now trying to sue the women of the Speak Out movement for defamation of character and for losses of wages. We'll get to that in a second. Let's look at the timeline here. It happens. Joey was accused. Joey comes out and says, I haven't said anything due to my lawyer saying that I shouldn't. I'm also respecting the movement. I will admit to 3 years ago when the dick pic or when the dick spot video went viral, I started to live the rock star lifestyle at 37 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, Leroy, I read his Twitter confession on the show. Was he not basically admitting to being a misconducted person?
I believe so. I mean, he kind of was saying, hey, I'm sorry.
Okay, pause there then. He does this. He deletes his Twitter. His promotion's closed. Nobody can book him, including his buddies, the Young Bucks. And sorry, folks, and sorry to the Bucks. You put penis druids on All In. You celebrated Joey Ryan. You're a part of this whether you like it or not. Sorry,
Yep.
boys. I am not in any way condemning the Bucks because they were not mentioned, and I never blame people for what someone else did. But with that many women, y'all had to know something. Sorry, you just did. My feelings go out to Candice LeRae, who was obviously Joey's tag team partner for a while there on the Indies. I'm not going to involve her in any way. She has nothing to do with this. Candice LeRae is just an innocent bystander in Joey Ryan's crazy world. 3 years later, at 40 years old, Joey Ryan apparently still needs to be told what not to do around women, and puts up a... Let me see if I get this right. 56-minute or like 58-minute YouTube video where
something like that. Yeah.
it was like, I think it was like a month or two after he supposedly, again, we're putting all this on the table so that people get the info. We heard from him what was essentially an apology. Yes or no, Leroy?
That's what he was trying to do, yes.
At least that's what we thought.
Yeah.
Then this video comes out, and Mr. Big Caterpillar pubic-haired mustache douchebag has shaved himself clean, face at least, and now he's discrediting these women. Basically, I didn't watch the whole video, and if you did, God bless you. He turned off the comments, so nobody clearly wanted to hear from his whiny ass.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the deal. Now you're saying they're lying, and now here we are a few months later. Oh, by the way, little side note, Joey Ryan said that Impact Wrestling actually breached his contract by firing him because supposedly Joey said it was in his contract with Impact Wrestling that they could not fire him for anything that he did before he signed with Impact, and all the allegations happened before he was with Impact. First of all, Joey, you weren't winning that in court. I don't know what the hell you were thinking.
Oh no.
Because first of all, back to the wrestling side, who the hell was gonna book you? You think Impact was just gonna put you on their television program after you've been accused by more than 24 women of being sexually inappropriate with them? Dude, you gotta be off your rocker to think somebody was gonna put you back on television.
Vince Russo would have.
Yeah, well, Vince,
yeah, you know.
Anyway, but no. Anyway, moving forward. So now, Joey Ryan finally did what we all asked him to do. He went away. He went bye-bye. And trust me, Joey, ain't nobody in this business ever going to steal your little dick spot. That is not a spot in wrestling that someone's going to want to do again.
Unfortunately, he should have stayed away.
This is the problem with Joey
Yes.
Ryan, and this is what I think I've learned about Joey Ryan. He is 40 years old, and he has no job skills. He has no employment-based skills in any way, because he's now back suing these women. And by the way, he's not suing a promotion. He's not suing a person with money. He's suing these women for, what is it here? His lawsuit is seeking a compensation in excess of $25,000 for economic damages, $25,000 for non-economic damages, and he's ordering a retraction and correcting of these defamatory statements for equitable relief based on principles that are fair and just. That is a bunch of bullshit, law-based hogwash fuckery that is him saying, I can't fucking get a job outside of pro wrestling. It was the only thing that I was ever getting paid for anything. Not that you were good at it, Joey.
Yeah.
He is suing these women. I think I heard a breakdown somewhere. I don't know if I've heard multiple breakdowns, both in articles and on the Jim Cornette Experience. I guess he was making $1,000 a month in merchandise. First of all, that's all you were making in merchandise. I thought you were supposed to be.
Bad.
I thought you were supposed to be a big star in wrestling there, Joey. But Bar Wrestling lost like $1,500 because he wasn't getting the like internet streaming that it was.
Yeah.
And I guess he was making. So I just want to point some out. This guy supposedly was making $25,000 a month as a professional wrestler, and which I find to be very funny because first and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, let me be clear. Undertaker wasn't making that. AJ Styles wasn't making that.
No.
And John Cena has never made $25,000 a month. I mean, they've made a lot of money, but they haven't made 25,000 times 12 is about two. Now, okay, first of all, those guys make more than that, first and foremost, okay? So let me say that. They make more than $25,000 a month, but they weren't getting paid $25,000 a month. They get paid in increments. They get paid for the payoffs, the big matches.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it's just every clip of him was like in front of 70 to 100 people. Joey Ryan, I think, made a couple thousand people in an arena, first of all, laugh at wrestling, but made them sick is what I want to say. Look, Joey, where the hell were you getting $25,000 to $50,000 a month in wrestling? Really?
Yeah,
Nobody.
I don't know.
Dude, you weren't contracted by a major. And by the way, first of all, Impact ain't making that kind of money.
No, they're not. Ain't
nobody in Impact getting paid like that.
No.
But no, it's just, this goes back, and if you want to go back and you want to hear, is that episode on YouTube yet, or is that episode still on Podomatic? I'm pretty sure that's still on Podomatic.
I believe it's still on Podomatic, yes.
Okay.
I don't think
We're also
I
on
got that
Spotify, you know the places. But
Yes.
here's the deal. Joey Ryan, you're a sleazebag. I won't let you within 5 feet of my girlfriend, let alone 5 feet of Leroy's daughter. I will cut off your nutsack and I'll shove it down your pube-filled mouth before I get anywhere near letting you near a woman that I care about or a girl that I care about. That's number one. Number two, you basically apologized and said you were in therapy and said you started living a rock and roll lifestyle. Then you turn around and say it's all fake, and now you're suing the women who did it for money. These are not women with power. These are not women who own wrestling. These were women that you took advantage of. You sick, depraved idiot. What the hell are you doing?
I don't know. It's stupid. You know, it's like, you know, somebody that murders somebody and then sues their family because they hurt their hand and they can't continue killing people.
That's essentially what this freaking is.
It's like, really? You're an idiot, Joey. Just shut up.
This is no.
Go away.
Look, okay, Joey Ryan. Some guys like honestly, you know, we've had this conversation here, and obviously Darren Corbin had an issue with this because that was his own personal beef with Chikara. Not beef.
Yeah.
Darren obviously had some issues with Chikara because Chikara was such a great place for a lot of wrestlers. Mike Quackenbush, you ain't heard a word from him since this whole thing started.
Nope.
Will Ospreay is obviously still getting some airtime in Japan in the G1, but no one's really booking Will Ospreay right now, and obviously Will Ospreay didn't do things to the level of Joey Ryan,
Yeah, no,
but
he did
Will
not.
Ospreay's still not a victim in any of this. A lot of these guys, Jordan Devlin no longer works for WWE. No one's heard from him. You haven't heard anything from the guys that WWE cut in NXT UK, which is back on the network, by the way. They're back and going strong. But just go away. To quote,
Let's hope so.
To quote the Vice President of the United States, the former Vice President, will you shut up, man?
I love that moment.
Enough is enough. Joey Ryan, I don't care who's booked you in the past. I look it up. I said I have nothing against the people that booked him. I'm pissed he got booked for what he got booked for, but once it gets big on the internet, you book what you can in wrestling. I'm not mad at that. But, dude, you clearly have no job skills. You clearly can't even you clearly can't even qualify for McDonald's.
Yeah, you got to be a nice person.
This is the only
to do
thing
that.
you ever made money on. You can't. First of all, you were never good, Joey. You just got lucky on a really stupid spot. That was it.
Yeah, that's about it.
That was it. Joey, and I'll say it, Joey Ryan was never on the level of the Young Bucks, who, in my opinion, I don't like their style of wrestling, but they still wrestle.
Yep.
Joey Ryan was a joke. Joey Ryan poured oil down his pants. He never shaved his chest or his ball sack and was hairy from the damn neck down. He had dudes flipping themselves in dangerous ways whilst they grabbed his junk. I can't even believe we're having this conversation, first of all, let alone a guy who's suing these women who accused him for $25,000 a month you were losing? Bro.
He's full of
You're
it.
full of shit if you're telling me you were making 20... Dude, I know wrestlers who are 40,000 times what you are who weren't making that much money a month. They were still making more than $1,000 in merchandise, I can tell you that much. But
yeah.
just, just go away.
Hopefully he will.
Hopefully a judge looks at this and throws it out, and Joey Ryan can just turn around and get his ass out. And here's the deal, folks. I said this then, and I'll say it again. We do not have any inside information on any of these allegations. But here's the deal. One, okay, I can maybe look the other way. Not that I would, but you know what I'm saying. I would look the way of maybe it's not true. 2, 3 to 7. Now we got a problem. 20 plus different allegations.
Yeah, when you get into double digits.
Suck my nuts, Joey Ryan. You are not an innocent bystander. There are coincidences, and then there is truth in whatever lies you think we're told, and it's all true.
so
You-
true.
Here's the thing. I don't know Joey Ryan personally, but just off the things that I've read through this, the fact that he's divorced, and boy, I wonder who messed up that marriage, living the rock and roll lifestyle.
Yeah.
He's a piece of garbage. Go away. Move to a town that nobody knows your name. And just fucking stay off the internet. Go move on with your life.
Go work
Last
at a
I checked-
7-Eleven or something.
Well, last
I don't know.
yeah, in the middle of flipping nowhere, please.
Yes.
Hell, I don't even care if you move to Minnesota. Just move to a small town where that nobody knows you. But here's the deal, Joey, ain't nobody in this business gonna book you. You think? Wait, okay. Quick question. Does he honestly think that, like, if he wins this case and the judge makes them take them back, that they're gonna start booking him again?
He might actually think that.
You ain't gonna get booked by nobody. And even if you are able to redo bar wrestling, who the hell's gonna work with you? You are one of the most toxic pieces of shit in this business. And by the way, as Jim Cornette said, and it's a motto that I have lived by my whole life, you want to know who the biggest asshole is? It's the guy who's telling you he's not an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Joey Ryan said for years in this business, I am here to make it safer. I am here to change the culture. It's no longer the boys club, all included. Everyone gets a chance to be a star. And it turns out you were nothing more than a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah.
You were a freaking idiot who was as bad as the people that you accused. You might sit there and say, well, look over there. Jim Cornette had allegations. Yeah, there's been no validity from the moment it happened. There's been nothing. There was one dude down in OVW who, like, conferred it, but nothing came of it. I'm not defending Jim Cornette. I'm just saying that look at the facts. It's gone nowhere. Your shit, it went somewhere. You lost everything. And by the way, innocent people don't lose everything.
No, they don't.
Even if it is sexual assault allegations, yes, there is proof in this country and in this world that allegations can ruin someone's life and it was all fake. But here's the deal. 24 plus or so women. And people were saying for a while that there was stuff that you all didn't hear about, so there might be more. The fact that Joey Janela is looking like a face because he went on Twitter and said, see, I told you all about him. Dude, you're losing to Joey Janela.
That's not good.
And I'm not saying that Joey Janela, it should be as bad a person as Joey Ryan. I'm just saying Joey Janela's not exactly somebody that I take seriously.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
But
yeah.
if he's coming out and he's telling everybody, look at what you guys ignored me about. I told you he was this way. And a lot of other people. And by the way, Joey, you might still have some supporters out there. But if they're really your friends, I think maybe they would have booked you. Just saying.
Not on a heartbeat.
Your friends, if you have any left, will never book you. WWE, they weren't going to touch you anyway with a 10-foot pole. That's now a 110-foot pole. You think AEW is going to mess with you? Bro, if they even sniff in your direction, goodbye to those 800,000 people that watch, because they ain't going to get nobody on that thing. Because the most sensitive
no.
fans watch Spot Monkey Wrestling.
Yes, they are.
Impact sure as hell ain't gonna touch you again. What, you gonna go to Mexico?
Oh, they don't.
You gonna go to Japan? Dude, Mexico and Japan wouldn't have didn't want to take your ass in the first. Actually, I think he did have some rundown in Mexico, but the fact is that it was a joke thing. Nobody cared. He's the equivalent of a clown in Lucha Libre, and there's actually a clown in Lucha Libre who's a really good wrestler. But no, it's just, seriously, go away. I don't care what people that we may know that have something else to say because they ever worked with Joey. I don't care. This is my opinion, and this is Leroy's opinion, and we are standing strong by what this show. This show reflects what you and I want to say. It does not reflect our guests.
Yes, that is true.
But what we believe is I don't think if Joey Ryan came within 100 feet of Leroy's little girl, that Leroy wouldn't do something to that jackhole.
Yeah, it
And
wouldn't
I
be
am
good.
not, and I would never allow Joey Ryan. Although I think my girl could handle yo ass because I don't think you really are any tough at all. I am not letting you within 100 feet of my girl. I'm not letting you 100 feet of my mother, of my grandmother, of my aunt, of my cousins. I am not letting you within 100 feet of any woman that I know. I'll let you within 100 feet of every dude I know because they're gonna whoop your ass, bitch.
Definitely.
But the fact is that I mean, Leroy, anything else you got for this piece of shit?
Same thing as you. Just go hide under a rock, stay there, and just shut up because we're done. I mean,
I've never seen someone who has tried so hard to try to get back at people for sexual assault allegations that he basically apologized and admitted to.
yeah.
Joey, you told us a sob story. Oh, by the way, Leroy, I know you and I go back and forth on this, and I have no issue with you and the way that you raise your family. But Joey, nobody believes the bullshit about now you're closer with God.
No.
You are the equivalent of people. Now, okay, Shawn Michaels, you could kind of say because Shawn got to a point where his life was low, but Shawn is a member of the cross, and I will give Shawn that. Shawn has come through in spades living that life. Whether I believe in it or not is irrelevant. Shawn has stuck to what Shawn believes. And God bless him for it.
Oh, yeah.
But, dude, you are the... But again, Shawn, most of Shawn's stuff was really hurting himself.
Yeah.
Shawn was more self-destructive than anything. Scott Hall was more self... Now, okay, did Jeff Hardy and Scott Hall and Shawn... Did they mess up other people's wrestling moments and spots? Yes, but nobody got hurt.
Just, well, they got more emotionally hurt than physical.
Exactly. So,
That's it.
bro, you are another example of somebody who fucked up so bad that now you think you can just turn to Jesus Christ and all of a sudden I can't say shit about you because you're one with Jesus? No.
If he was one with Jesus, he sure in the hell would not be suing these people. He would apologize and say, I screwed up,
And then
and
you
then
believe.
go away,
And then
because that's what you do.
or, and again, whether I believe in this or not, let me just point out what normally happens. You admit to what you did, you admit what, to all this stuff, and if you don't get put in jail, then you can become a member of the church, and you can work on bettering yourself, you can go to confessional, you can do all these things, but the fact of the matter is that, bro, I ain't got no time for you anymore.
No, I'm done with them. Everybody needs to be done with them.
I'm sure we will have to talk about this one or two more times,
I hope not.
but God, I hope
I think the only time I hope we ever talk about him is that, yep, he's in jail, he's done, he got convicted.
he's in jail or the judge tossed the damn case out.
Yeah, we might not even hear if
I don't care
the
anymore.
lawsuits gets thrown
Oh.
out. But the other ones, yeah, hopefully.
I just no.
Yes.
So anyway, I don't feel like ending the show the way we normally do, giving out our subscriber stuff, all that. Ladies and gentlemen, just that's all I gotta say. I'll be in a better mood next week, but that put me in a bit of a sour mood to end the show on. But
Well,
obviously, it's big in wrestling. We had to cover it. So
Yeah. Well, I tell everybody, ended too, is like, you know what? We got the NXT pay-per-view
yep,
kind of tonight.
yep.
Enjoy that.
Yeah. Thank you all
and-
so much for listening. And for Zach and Leroy, I'm out. Leroy, if you got anything to say to end the show, please.
Well, that's about it, man. It's like, enjoy our shows, listen to us, look back, contact us if you want to know anything more, tell our opinion, and look forward, come back to listen to our tribute show that we're going to have for LOD. It'll be good. It might be just us. Hopefully we got a couple more people on there, but
Yeah.
thank you everybody for listening. Thank you everybody for following us and subscribing on YouTube, and we'll catch you back next week.
Thank you.